Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Misty Petrella, and you are now in the fourth, I believe, episode of the Inspired Lightworker series. And I am here with Ms. Janet Miller, and she is, I'm not sure, how long have you been in our group? Hold on. Before I ask her, I'm going to ask her a whole bunch of questions here in just a second.
You know what? I'm not sure. I think it's been at least a year or so, and I've seen you transform, and I've seen, the challenges, and one thing I do is participate in groups because that's what you have to do in order to get yourself out there. So because I changed beliefs, I changed my belief that I was no longer, I didn't even say not going to be a lurker. I just said I eagerly participate in all online offerings.
Yes, I love that. Good for you. Now, I'm doing these Inspired Lightworkers series of interviews because I want you all to know each other. You
Yes.
are in a group of entrepreneurs who are all helping to change the world in a really powerful way.
Mm-hmm.
So Janet was brave enough to jump on this short, powerful interview with me so that all of you could get to know her, and she hopefully can get to know some of you.
Yes.
So Janet, we're going to call you, your title is a transformational coach. That is correct?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. And so how do you use your transformational coaching in the world? Who do you serve?
Well, basically, I serve people who have, who've tried a lot of different techniques, and they've tried a lot of different things to get out of where they are in their stuckness to where they want to go.
Sure.
And I was there for years until I gleamed upon this technique sort of fell into my lap, and it changes beliefs so fast that I went, oh my gosh, but now I'm layering it with all my other stuff. My guides come in, this comes in, and it's just a totally transformational aspect to help these people. And because because we're energy bodies, I have clients all over the world.
That's amazing. Good for you. That's so cool.
Which is great. And as I said, the problem that I found, what I'm focusing on, I have a 12-week program. What I'm trying to answer the question that you asked me.
Oh, yeah.
The program that I'm wanting to launch is a 12-week program to help people evolve past forgiveness.
Wow.
Because forgiveness is still keeping you in judgment. And as spiritual beings having a human experience, which I wrestled with for quite a while when I was going through traditional therapy, and then I read Louise Hay's book, and she said, part of you actually asked for that. So that took me a while to transform, because
that's a doozy when you get to that one, isn't it?
You're like, to that one, and it's like, I asked for this abuse. Are you crazy? Then as I started to take away the layers of protection that I had put myself in the world and got to the essence of who I was, that's when I realized I have to help other people feel the joy and the lightness that I feel now, and the completeness that I have. So, and of course it scared me because I got this message 20 years ago, and I was terrified, thinking no one's going to want to do this. But then the Me Too movement came out, and all this other stuff came out, and we're standing up, we're speaking up for ourselves, which is what we need to do. And it is about finding our voices, and I'm trying to take people out of survivor mode, because survivor mode still makes you leery of certain situations. It doesn't make you trust. It makes you be a little cognizant of where you're going.
Constantly in protection, right?
Constantly in protection, not feeling safe. And the one thing I found when I was doing a lot of work with clients that I had attracted specifically for the purpose of uncovering the unsaid abuse that they'd had, as soon as I injected the word "I'm safe too," their whole countenance changed. They became more vocal. They be able to step into things because they felt safe.
That is so beautiful.
It's just a simple little "I'm safe." It makes you, especially if you've been abused, and normally those of us that have been abused, we've had verbally abusive relationships too, where you're being shut down and held down and going, you shouldn't do that, and it's not safe to speak up. So that's where this all comes in. So it's a 12-week program, and I take them through 12 different aspects of their life, and I bring back all those missing pieces and the pieces that you've stuck away, you didn't want to look at, because we have to look in the dark. We have to bring light to the shadows.
That's amazing. Oh, and what a place that is needed for those, that there's a lot of sexual trauma going on, or not going on. It's been going on for centuries.
It's been going on, and the thing is,
going on for centuries.
And a lot of us light workers have been there in some form or other. Is it verbal abuse or that type of thing? So this is why we tend to hesitate coming online, trying to say what we need to say, to write what we need to say, whatever. And it's there, and we need to free ourselves of that.
Yes, and that shame, right? Like
it is, and our own self-judgment.
Yes, shame. If you look on, I think it's Abraham Hicks started talking about the emotional scale, yes. More empowering emotions and less. I don't know if it's necessarily her scale, but she's.
No, it's not. No, but right. it is a scale. Yes.
And shame is at like the very bottom. Shame
is. Well, this is it. And you see, this is what I give them. I give them a scale of emotions.
There you go. Oh my God, this is that beautiful.
So they get to see it. Yes, because you have to be up into joy and empowerment and passion, and those are up at the top. But you look at it and going, how am I going to get there? But it's a process, and it's a matter of, we have layers of protection on when especially when I realized that I was still, I'd done Lightworker work for years because I became a Reiki master first. So I understood about energy.
Yeah.
And once I got that, oh my God, it's in my vibrational field. I'm carrying a victim and survivor mentality in my vibrational field. That's why I'm still attracting it.
Wow. Now, wait, I'm curious. How did you find that? Like, what were you doing when you found that?
Well, I kept attracting men that looked good. But as I got to know them, and when I started to listen and acknowledge the signals, because I've always told women, we should look at our relationships like a stop sign. We get a caution light and we ignore it.
Oh, we totally do.
And we don't, and if we ignore those caution lights, then we get the red light, and we're so deep into it, we can't believe that we're there.
And then we feel that.
And then we get stuck, and then we get judgment.
I can't even imagine how many women listening now have experienced this.
Yes.
Exact cycle.
Because we want to be loved. We want to be nurtured. And the last couple of guys I had, they sounded great. They could talk to me and whatever. And then as I got into it, and even though I knew there was something off, there was something that they said that kind of hit me the wrong way. And I went, oh, that's just me.
Oh,
that's just the wounded me.
Yep.
But it wasn't the wounded me. It was the real me going,
ah! What are you doing?
Yes.
Wow, that is powerful, powerful work.
Yeah.
So
well,
you have I hate to say this because it sort of is projecting out into the future a little bit, but if you could what is your big mission with this? What would you love to?
I had a reading from a very gifted light worker years ago, and basically I have what they call a double mission, because it's healing my lineage, which we have to do, because most of us that have come in have had some kind of familial abuse that has never been talked about. Remember, this is the first generation we've actually been able to talk about this.
Right.
So we have a lot of lineage that we have to heal. Right. So we came in as brave light workers from this wonderful energy. We come down into earth energy, and we're going, what do you mean? I can't be the way I am, right? And then you start attracting the things that you don't understand until a certain point, and all of a sudden you go, oh, I attracted that because. But you don't start off with that, not at this point. And this is what, and then of course traditional therapy. I was sitting in my therapist chair, and I'd read Louise Hay's book, and I went, well, what do you think of me saying that I attracted this stuff? And she looked at me and she just shook her head. She goes, I can't see that. And I knew right then and there, I could no longer work with her.
Yep.
And then that started me on a
20-year doesn't really, right, yeah. Doesn't quite encompass the entire breadth of what we are.
Yes, exactly. So that's the whole thing. And of course, I have to sort of wind back where I was, because there's so many of us that are awakening now, desperately searching for not the quick method, a more efficient method of getting to the point of being in the fifth dimensional energy, because that's where we are now.
Oh, we sure are, aren't we?
And you can feel it. And
you totally can.
And you can. And it's like, but you know, you don't have years or whatever. And so I'm very specific. I'm looking for people who have done the forgiveness work, but are still feeling stuck. Because if you feel any resentment, if you feel envy, if you feel any of that stuff, you can't accept the fifth dimensional energy. You can't be there. You have to love.
Take it with you. It will not let you go with it. You can't take it.
You can't. It looks at you and going, you're not there yet.
Nope. Right.
So that's, and I know that. So that's what I'm trying, that's what my goal is with this program, and working on the subconscious. I'm also dealing with the higher consciousness as well. And your soul spirit guides come in, and we get right to the issues right away, because I understand how they feel. I know all the parts of myself that I put away, all the pieces that I was missing, and how I would be sitting in meditation and they'd say, go into your heart. And I'm going, well, yeah, okay. And then I would just go, okay, I'm there. But I knew I wasn't really there. I knew I was there.
Okay, I'm in my heart. I'm in my heart.
I'm in my heart. I'm in my heart.
Right.
And you're sitting there going, how can people do this? So, yeah. So that's what happened with me.
That's so beautiful. Okay, so you serve people who are already on the path.
Yes.
They're already working through healing some of this past trauma, the sexual trauma they've experienced.
Yes.
Like, wait a minute, where's my real healing?
Well, they have to, but they have to experience it. Because I mean, I just had a lady who she'd tried shamans, she'd tried Reiki, and I mean, I tried Reiki too. Reiki is what woke me up, but I knew it was on the beginning path for me, because then I got involved in so much about this other stuff. I mean, now I just recently read a book called The Women of Lemuria, and I knew I was a Lemurian years ago, but I didn't have anything to talk about it. This book, The Women of Lemuria, she's working with Cryon. I have star code cards that I've gotten, and I've activated the star codes within me. And that's what I also want to do, is we're gathering that the Lemurian Sisterhood is now in 10 or 15 different countries. I didn't even know about it. And it's like, it's just exploding all over the place, because we need to bring that energy, and those of us who were there, and we need to bring it out to help others move.
Oh, I feel like I need to talk to you about that Lemurian Sisterhood. So I'll be talking to you about that later.
Oh, it's a beautiful book. I got it by accident. There's no such accident.
Such thing.
And I knew that I'd been there. I have crystals that have talked to me, because I talk to crystals, that have told me they're from my Lemurian past. But the Lemurian Sisterhood just awakened. I couldn't believe it. I got this book, and you know how sometimes you get books and you sort of devour them, and it's just like, I have to read this. And it's huge, and it's making perfect sense. And I live in Canada, and I'm actually going to be going to be able to go to a Lemurian Sisterhood gathering next month.
Where?
In Ottawa.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's like,
very
and
cool.
Like, oh my God!
How exciting! Oh, I'm so excited for you. Okay, yeah. Well, you and I could talk for many whiles, I have this sense. Yeah. So I just want to say, if someone is trying to, because I want to keep these short and sweet. So
yes, no, I get it.
Adjust them and watch what you're saying. So if someone wants to follow you, if someone wants to find out more all about Janet Miller and what she's doing in the world and how she's helping people who've gone through sexual trauma in their history in any way.
Yeah.
How do we find out about you?
Well, I do have a fan page called A Spirited Path. I'm doing my best to do live videos on a regular basis. I am going to be creating a Zoom format as well. I'm learning all this technology stuff. And basically just look at my website as a spirited path. And I got that name 30 years ago, didn't feel that I could own it, but I couldn't change it. Every time I went to change it, something happened in my life. So I just had to surrender to the name.
I love it. I love it. That's because you were supposed to use it.
I know, but I didn't feel worthy of it.
Love it. All right. Well, if you want to find out more about Janet, she is obviously in our group. So you can feel free to tag her or message her through Facebook. She's absolutely findable on A Spirited Path is her page. Thank you so much for joining, Janet. And
Thank you.
This is beautiful work. I mean, I'm honored that you're in the group and doing this.
Well, I'm just so glad that you and I've heard this before. What you're telling me, I've heard before, but like anything else, it has to be at the right time. It has to be at the right space. And you have to hear it sometimes 4 or 5 times before it suddenly.
Or like 9, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think it's amazing. And thank you so much. And again, thank you for, participating and being a part. I'm honored. So thank you.
Oh, I'm honored I'm just glad. I mean, I found you. So it was like, oh, okay.
Meant to be.
And if you ever do want to talk to me, we can talk on Messenger, because the book has literally transformed my life, Misty. It literally has. It was like, finally somebody gets it, because I read the book and I'm going, I know that. And it's all there.
That is so cool. Well, thank you for sharing. I'm going to go find out about it right now. Thank you for joining in. And if you are interested in doing an interview in the Inspired Lightworker series and you want to share your story, please do let me know. I would love to host an interview with you. And Janet, you have a great day, and we will see you on the group, my dear.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.